Hey everybody, GP here with you, your presence tapper, and so welcome to another presence tapping video. It's being quite a collection of them that are accumulating, and I'm really happy that I'm getting requests for them. It really helps. I want to tailor these to the needs of the people out there, all my friends out in YouTube land. Tubers, I guess, whatever. Anyway, this is a request I've gotten. I've done a lot of tapping videos on the subject of safety. Obviously, as part of the things I teach in emotional healing, is that establishing a safe environment for our nervous system is the whole deal. Right? I use tapping because I have found that it conveys a sense of safety or a message of safety to the body through touch, because these are all comfort spots that we naturally touch when we feel distress of some sort. So it very naturally does that, and the body, of course, responds to that because it responds to everything. So creating the safe space is what it's all about. When I do Meridian tapping training to teach people how to work with it with themselves, but also with others. Level 1 is called the art of creating a safe space, because it's all about that. If you create the safe space, the energy will do the rest. Because now it has freedom, the freedom to move, to get rid of old behaviors and assumptions that it doesn't need anymore. But it has to feel safe to do that. And most of us have an underlying assumption that we live with. And anybody who's had any kind of childhood trauma has this assumption that I'm not safe. The world's not safe. The universe is not. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for me to be me. I have to hide. I have to mask it. I have to, all sorts of things. We mask it through all sorts of different methods, everywhere from shyness to arrogance. So let's start tapping on it. So close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths, as I always ask, to get started. Slow it down so the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let attention very naturally begin to sink into the body, that amazing sense of presence and centeredness and groundedness that is the body. Well, we can, in our minds, with our attention elsewhere, feel very ungrounded, very uncentered. The body's always grounded and centered. It's always in touch. So coming here, being present with it, is it's powerful in and of itself. So now start tapping, eyes still closed. Just the breathing going on. Start tapping. You do not have to say what I say. Not have to repeat me. That's one of the tenets of Meridian tapping. You just tap. I'm just going to say things to see if they land. If your body, which is already a bit more open, simply because your attention's more focused there, and the tapping is sending the message of safety. We can say some things that the nervous system, the deep unconscious stuff, can be open to hearing. Early on in life, you were treated in such a way that, to a greater or lesser degree, you did not feel safe. Now, this happened to everyone. Even the best of parents have to enculturate the child. We have to become enculturated. We have to be able to function in human life. get educated, get a job, find a mate, function in the world, have friends and community. That requires a training of the nervous system to conform, to be a certain way in the world. And in order for that to happen, some parts of us, very real and often beautiful parts of us, have to be set aside, pushed under. In cases where it's more extreme, where it's actually become traumatic, very dictatorial house, a very dismissive house, an abusive house, with very rigid fundamentalist beliefs, all make it very unsafe for you to simply be yourself. Every child is just themselves, expressing themselves naturally, innocently. But if that expression contradicts the culture, the rules, the behavior that is acceptable to your particular caregivers, it will be hurt, it'll be harmed. And you'll find yourself feeling it's not safe to express that. Now, this isn't conscious. You're not conscious yet. You're just feeling. You're a kid. This is all happening in your nervous system under the surface. Wow, it's not safe to be that. It's quite a dilemma. It's not safe to be and express who you are, what comes absolutely natural. But you can't help but be that. It's what you are. And you see what an existential crisis that is, and why that becomes so traumatic. And the more severe the restriction is, the more traumatic it is. To the point where we will have, all of us, to a certain degree, the sense it's not safe. Now, unconsciously, the deep assumption is it's not safe to be me. Because we get not really able to understand that as a child, it becomes they're not safe. The world isn't safe. And just, I'm not safe. Period. And it feels as if it is a permanent, unchanging condition. To a certain extent, it is. It's the childhood environment is not likely going to change. It will be solidified into what the nervous system regards as a permanent condition. Therefore, I'm not safe. It's not just I'm not safe here in these circumstances. I'm not safe ever. What we want to do is recognizing that that energy is there. Right? All right, I accept that that energy is there. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to push it away. I'm not going to pretend it's there. I'm not going to reframe it. Okay, that energy, that assumption lives deep in my unconscious. I'm going to just put a question, simple question. I'm directing to your nervous system, your energy system. I know it was absolutely true that it was not safe to be me. That the world didn't look safe. And we assumed that it simply wasn't. But what if that's just an assumption? What if it's not permanently true? Yes, it wasn't safe there with them, but that might not mean that it's always not safe, and that I am not safe may not be always true. We assumed it to be true, acted it out as if it was true, made every decision based on that being true. So, of course, it was going to look true. All the evidence would seem to say it was true. But isn't that how assumptions work? They are the interpretation of experience, color the results. What if it's not true anymore? Or rather, what if it's at least less true? I mean, maybe there have been some times in our lives when we were safe. It was safe. We may have not thought it was, or kind of didn't really trust it, and that's okay. But what if there were? And what if it was possible to feel more safe, at least appropriate for my circumstances, right now? I mean, I'm not in any immediate danger right now. Bears chasing me. I've got food and a place to live. Yeah, things can happen in the future. But what about right now? Is it possible that I could feel safe when I am actually safe, and only feel not safe when I'm not, when real circumstances? Maybe we can let go of this assumption, this presumption that I'm not safe. Certainly, if I just assume I'm not safe, it's a good strategy. It'll guarantee I'm alert, but doesn't allow much room for anything else. What if it's possible to be both safe and free at the same time? I mean, crazy free, safely free. What if you, my beautiful, brilliant energy system, can actually create a state where it's safe to be me, to express myself? Just a little more than I have been. Just ask that we open up and check it out. If it's not safe, if it's not true, if this is all nonsense, well, fine. Shut me down. You know how to do it. But if it is possible to be safe and free at the same time, well, I want that. I really want more freedom. I'm just choosing to not be in a fight with my safety mechanism, but to seek out its cooperation, its help. Help me create a space, an environment in which I'm both safe and free. We couldn't do that when I was little. We didn't have the power or the ability, but maybe we do now. Just open up and find out. It's all, just see if it's possible. Thank you, energy, nervous system, body, for taking such good care of me all these years. Thank you for being so loyal and powerful. I couldn't have done any of this without you. Thank you. I love you. All right. Keeping your eyes closed, you can stop tapping now. Take another deep breath with a slow exhale. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to our virtual world here. That's, although every time I do this, I do it a little differently. And sometimes if working with somebody in a group or individually, there'll be something very specific they don't feel safe about. And while you were tapping, some very specific things may have come up. Stuff from the past, incidences which made you feel unsafe, that your nervous system interpreted as very likely a permanent condition, and therefore had to automate the process of keeping you in the state of not being safe and therefore alert. Right? If those things came up, just you may want to go back and just bring them to mind and tap on them. But bear this in mind. We don't want a conflict between our desire for freedom and our need for safety. There isn't a conflict. We can often, I want to be free of this, I want to be free, and we can get in a fight with our nervous system, trying to quiet our mind, to get rid of these negative emotions, which there really aren't any. But if instead we acknowledge the fact that, yes, there's a part of me that just wants to expand and grow and feels very constricted by the nervous system so shut down. But on the other hand, I've got this incredibly brilliant nervous system, this body that is the fruit of 500 million years of bodies perfecting that process of staying safe. Remember, you're the children of the winners, right? That can't be denied either. But it can be opened. It can open to find other ways in which to keep you safe, not as draconian, not as it can open up to detect, right, it isn't as dangerous, I don't need to shut down as much. And you don't have to tell it that. It knows. When it senses in the environment that it's safer, it goes, okay. Is it consistent? That will be its first thing. It'll be watching. If it becomes consistent, it'll go, okay, I can trust this now. I can take us out of, DEFCON 5. I can lower the rate, the level of defense I'm in, and free up some of that energy for self-expression. This is how it works. This is how the whole process works. So you're not in a fight with anything. In fact, you're really trying to be the best friend of the entire body-mind mechanism, especially those parts of us that are unconscious. We don't have direct control over them. We can only influence them through the environment that we create for them. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me, and feel free to leave requests. I love them. So till next time, namaste, and enjoy emotional